Hey, hello, and welcome to this week's Earth2 Market Report. We're super glad that you made it. Go ahead and grab a drink, get comfortable, and let's have a little fun. Finally, we are so excited to report that we are seeing some positive trends in the E2 economy. We are going to talk about this and more in tonight's video. So, certain civilians have exploded in value. This is Earth2 in the know, and let's get into it. Before we talk about all of that, though, we do want to let you know that we are announcing this week's winner tonight, so make sure you do stick around for that. Well, as you know, if you add use case to a limited supply of something, and that something becomes popular, the price can rocket. And this is exactly what we're seeing happen right now with one of our in-game civilians. The civilian that we're discussing, obviously, is the Sidroid Technician. And boy, are the values doing something incredible. When we look at our most recent market report, which was just a little over a few weeks ago, we can see that they were listed at around 16 cents for the floor. If you go into the marketplace now, you can clearly see that that is no longer the case. They are being sold now on the open market for just under 2 USD for a huge profit margin. Meaning, if you had the red energy to feed them and a place for them to reside, and you had bought up or birthed a bunch of Sidroid techs just a few weeks back, well, you do the math. So congratulations to you if you in fact had the vision to utilize this opportunity to make some great returns. It stands to reason that the other assets will follow, as they also can no longer be created after a certain number are born. Although we cannot make any guarantee, as the market is fickle. There is a great chance history will repeat itself with the other civilians when they also can no longer be created. And chances are that we can expect to see continued trends just like this. Although that is some great news and a nice boost to the value of anyone who has a collection of civilians, that is not the only reason to celebrate. We have also seen some great reactions to the Earth2 Horde's first ever mini games. This has also seemed to influence the price of Essence, as well as the amount of people who are now cashing out their daily yields. That is why we believe that it is directly causing some overaction in the price of Essence. We are going to get into more of the Essence price action further into the video. However, for now, we want to take a look at some other areas of the marketplace first. Right off the top, there does seem to be a little less excitement when it comes to other civilians, as they can currently still be made with Ether. Case in point, today the price of an Ether Reckoner is still only at a 17-cent floor. Very similar to the Sidroid tech was just 3 weeks back. However, per the site, at the time of production, there are now just over 25,000 that still need to be produced. Again, when we look at the raid commanders, we can clearly see that there are just under 30,000 of these that also need to be birthed into the world. Going into the Earth2 marketplace, you can see that these are also only selling for right around 17 cents USD, and that is leaving a ton of room for later profits. That is, if you can sustain the red energy and have a place to actually put them to work. I wouldn't recommend buying a bunch if you don't have red energy, because you're just going to run into a lot of problems. The point is, even though you may have missed an opportunity to see a nice return on the Sidroid techs, for now, there is a high possibility that you can catch the run on another civilian. Again, all of this, of course, comes with no guarantees, as we clearly cannot predict the future, and can only base these probabilities off of past events. Sidroids themselves are looking very consistent right now, with a floor of the mid-30s. However, for the most part, these prices are usually an indication of the external trading price of Essence. Although we are a long way from the 5 million cap on Generation 1 Sidroids, with mass adoption, those numbers could be realized before we even know it, causing the same run on something that we now sell for less than a cold soda back in the 80s. Point being that just because the value may not presently be obvious because we cannot even consider running out of the opportunity, does not mean that this will not someday, in fact, be a reality. We have to plan for the future if we want to continue to grow. These are just some things to keep in mind as we are sailing through the results of meeting the first cap on one of the civilian classes. Currently, the community has mined a total of 85,129,586 joules. However, there are currently only just over 50 million joules in circulation after the upgrades. That is also just something to keep in perspective as we cruise towards the 125 million cap. The only reason that we are bringing these things up is because in just 4 years before the game has been released, we're already seeing at least a 50% reduction in assets already available. So it's truly something to keep in mind while we watch these prices fluctuate inside of the marketplace. While we're at it, just as a final thing to think about on the topic, is the fact that over 65 million T1 tiles exist, either due to upgrades or directly purchasing them from the map. There are only 225 million total tiles that will ever be Tier 1. So again, we're slowly making that become a reality. While we could talk numbers and the percentages of the outcome of seeing a raise in value long term all day, we do need to keep moving. Let's go ahead and do that by checking out what the jewel market is currently looking like right now. Clearly we can see that at the 5-cent price point for jewels, we are nowhere near having the same levels of excitement that we do with the Sidroid tech. However, again, we believe that if the trend continues, we will also probably see the same probability for growth later on. We are seeing, however, a huge decline in the price of the mixed T3s. Once averaging at around $1.50, they are now right under that 1 USD mark. Now, we do have to keep in mind, though, that we are in bear market-like conditions when it comes to the external market. So, although there is a lot of excitement for the new cap civilian, we are still very much so in a downturn when it comes to other areas of the market. Before we get into the actual Essence token and talk about the upward price action over the last week or so, we do want to take a look at what has been going on with the Tier 3 releases lately. Since our last update, we saw Lviv Oblast in the Ukraine Open, which is currently still only at 0.109 or just under 11 cents. However, this area is rich in coal at a Tier 2, so there is that option if you are in fact in need of coal tiles. After that release came Izyk in Kyrgyzstan, which itself is currently trading for 0.106 or again, just under 11 cents. Now there is iron and gold there, but they're not in massive supply, meaning that they're probably going to be deficient. Andorra La Vela in Andorra, it also saw an opening where the price barely moved for a trading price of only 0.101 currently, or just over the opening price of a dime, probably because it's only offering sparse coal, iron, and limestone. Following that release came Masovian Voivodeship out of Poland, which actually saw a bit of buying, but nothing exciting with only iron as a resource It is currently trading at 0.111 or just over 11 cents. Next, we were given Bar El Ghazal in Chad. With no detectable resources at the landing spot and only limited development, this Tier 3 property is currently available for only 0.102 or just over a dime, the opening bid. Most recently, we saw Sangre Grande in Trinidad and Tobago open. Again, a lackluster performance. It is currently trading at 0.101. However, there is copious oil, so if for any reason you still need cheap oil tiles, this may present an opportunity for you. Coming up in the next few days, we have a pretty exciting release with the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv. Now, there is only gold here when it comes to resources. However, there is a ton of development there, so there may be room to pick up some upgradable land, pretty affordable. And with that, we are all pretty much caught up on the recent and the upcoming Tier 3 releases. Before we talk Essence Token and what the last few days have looked like, we do want to thank all of our return viewers, as well as welcome anyone who may be new to the channel. You guys are the absolute best, and without you, I'd be talking to myself, and you know they put people away for that. We most certainly do appreciate you all and all of the constant support from everyone with the video interactions. You know, every like, comment, and share, well, it helps us to grow the brand. Also, if this is in fact your first time to the channel, we would love for you to subscribe. We are an authorized by the team content creator who only puts out factual content free from speculation and hype. Listen, I'm going to go off script here a little bit and let you know that we will never ask you to buy anything. We will never tell you how to manage your portfolios. That is all up to the independent viewer. All we're going to do is just give you the information that's out there and then let you make the best decision based on what we've offered you as information. Not financial advice. Please don't sue us. Just kidding. We love you all. With that long-winded disclaimer, it is also important to note that we do weekly giveaways, and we try to stay as constant with the news as much as possible. All right, everybody, for the meat and potatoes of the market report. So what exactly is going on with the Essence token? Well, things have actually been really looking up. Well, as much as possible inside of bear market-like conditions. Essence, which has been flirting with the 4-cent price point, has actually been rallying. As a matter of fact, if you look at the last 5 days with the 12-hour candles, almost every single candle is green, indicating a very good week for the asset. The last 24 hours have seemed to settle down with trading. However, that could be because we are going into the weekend and there just may not be enough people collecting Essence payouts to sell, causing a decline in the transactions. Just a thought. That said, let's take a look at what has happened in the last 24 hours. This includes 8.5 thousand in volume, with a current liquidity at the time of production of 280K. There are currently 2.11 thousand holders, and we're just over about 3 months old. Surprisingly enough, after the massive amounts of trades that we saw going into Friday, over the last 24 hours, there have only been 16 transactions, with 7 of those being buys versus 9 of them, of course, being sells. At the time of production, Essence is currently trading at 0.0611 for a 24-hour gain of 2.71%, which we hope to see end with another green daily candle for the asset. Without a doubt, it is way more fun reporting a good week of gains. So it has been an absolute pleasure to be able to get into the studio today and put out this update. While we're having fun, let's go ahead and find a winner for this week's contest. Congratulations to this week's winner, who will be taking home their very own base Marushirago skin, which is a 1 of 2,000 limited edition. This week's winner is Caspio5. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy your new limited edition Earth 2 merch. You can go ahead and hit me up in the Earth 2 official Discord to claim your prize. We're really easy to find in case you don't know. We're right there where it says content creators. Thanks so much for playing. With that, it is time to wrap up another update from us here at E2ITK. We are super glad that you made it. As you know with us, goodbyes are never forever, and hopefully never for very long. As always, we cannot wait to see you in the Earth2 Metaverse. Until next time.